Hello, wrestling world, and I want the public to know that I've been hanging out with these two before we got on the air, and I feel, a real comradeship with these two already. I know it's going to be a fun time.
Welcome to AltJake Takes On with AltJake and George.
Hello again, everybody. We are back, episode 45 of AltJake Takes On, here with my buddy George, as always. How you doing today, my friend?
Very good. I always appreciate the one person in the crowd that loves me.
Yeah, shout out to our friend Chuck, who does pretty much all of our artwork that we've got. Pretty much anything that you guys see, he's the one that's technically able to do it, because George and I aren't the most tech savvy with that all kind of stuff.
Hey, you're still more than I am.
And I learned it from him. Chuck walked me through how to make the AltJake Takes On logos that I've done, which took, even with AI, it took me a good while to make them, and that's why I'm going to stick with them for a while. But yeah, thank you, Chuck. Those are all the videos you see, all the backgrounds and stuff. We really appreciate it, because it'd look a lot shittier without him. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it's a small team, but an efficient team.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, that's how we work with it. Kind of like, with the audience, it's small but still growing and getting bigger and better. Shout out to everybody who's been hanging out with us for our live show on Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube, and our Sunday show, which will be back this Sunday 8:05 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube as well for Sunday Night Spaces. Thursday is more of our AEW review, and Sunday is just our roundtable discussion show. Probably going to try to invoke more stuff with the audience as well, especially once we can get to super chats, which is why we want everybody to like, subscribe, comment, share. The sharing and subscribing is the biggest thing that helps the algorithm, as far as I can tell.
Comments.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's big. We try both to comment back as often as we can. We really appreciate it. Being in the West Coast, it's kind of fun for me after we post a video. Like last night, we did our live show on Thursday, and then I wake up and there's a bunch of comments I got to respond to, and interactions, and it's a lot of fun. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. This Sunday, I think we're going to concentrate on like SmackDown from today, and I think we're going to talk about TNA, because
absolutely,
you and I are going to have some fun on that, discussing.
Yeah, well, that's. It's kind of a new thing with us. We've been going at 9:30 Eastern on Thursdays now. I mean, for what, like over a month, if not longer. I mean, we've been doing that. Yeah, and then TNA, because I didn't realize until last night that they were going on at 9 Eastern and not 8 Eastern, and so
one of my complaints, by the way. One of my complaints.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. It's like, dang, I thought we were just getting like the last half hour. Whatever. It'll be fine with it. We'll figure it out. But we definitely will talk about it. We have both watched it. We were able to see it through.
The thing that's nice, Jake, is we have a strong replay crew. Very strong.
Yes, very. Yeah, absolutely. And I saw, was it Mary apologized last night? Like, I watched TNA. Sorry, I didn't watch you guys live. Like, hey, every watch counts. All views, all watch hours, all it all counts for us. We appreciate everybody with it, and
because we'll see how TNA goes. If you look at the basic math, you said we had like 100 views on yesterday's show. Yep, and we had like 10 people in the chat. So people are watching on the replay a lot,
for sure. Yeah, no, I think our peak was like 13 or 14, which was a little bit lower, but we expected that because we knew people are going to be watching TNA. Yeah, no, the replays all count, and then every time the comments come through as well. I mean, that one had 17 comments on it. Those all help, and the likes, and even dislikes too. If you're a fan of AEW and don't like our reviews of it, but hey, hit the dislike button. It's fine. We get it. It's all good. Every interaction is key and helps us for sure. So, but yeah, this Sunday we'll talk definitely about SmackDown tonight, because there should be some good stuff on there. And then we'll cover everything that happened on TNA in their new AMC Plus era.
Yuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's better than HBO Max, I guess. I don't know. I was able to watch it the same way I've done, so it wasn't a big deal for me.
I got it on YouTube TV. So
I just used I used my DVR, but just from a different channel. Yeah, it's fun though. We'll talk all about that on Sunday. That'll be cool. And hopefully by then too, I feel like most people have been able to watch it, because I saw a lot of people were saying they I don't watch anything on AMC, but it's obviously a popular enough network. There's people that watch it. AMC Plus is a
you get some good movies. Get some good movies on there. It really does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like my all-time, like pretty much my all-time favorite TV show is AMC. I loved Mad Men. That was my favorite show back in the day. I loved it.
Never saw it.
Oh, it's really good.
Which is weird, you would think, because I would like that, but I just never got around to it.
Yeah, I was one of those people that found it when what was there, like a writer's strike, and like there was like a period where they were, and so they were just replaying the old ones, and I just binged through it there. And I mean I've talked about it before, like I don't watch a lot of new movies and TV shows because I just don't have as much, but I love period pieces and older stuff. And that's funny, every time I see the John Hamm meme where he's like dancing in the whatever new show he's on in the club, every time I'm just like, what is Don Draper doing? No, but AMC Plus should be fun. We hope for the best for them, and I will grab a bunch.
It's just AMC.
Well, AMC, but I mean AMC Plus is their streaming service, and that's what matters.
We just get on the AMC.
Yeah.
I can go back and just, like I did yesterday, I just watched it.
Yeah. I was gonna say I have no reason to have AMC Plus, but I'm wondering if it will drive see if there'll be any spike in their subscribership, but I don't know how many they had before.
The way it looks, I think it's on all the cable systems too, because I had it on DirecTV, and I had it on the other cable system I was on prior, and I got it on YouTube TV, so it's got to be available on
that was something I remember when the deal was announced, that it was like AMC was unexpected, but I felt like it was still it's a network, like you said, like everybody has it, like it's not like TBS or TNT or USA,
not access.
But it's exactly, it's much closer to those than it is to access, like when you see, like if you go on a cable company and, they've got like 4 different packages and it's like, $100, $150, whatever. AMC is usually on that first tier, and that's where you want to be. Yeah. So yeah,
you're not paying extra for it. That's cool.
No. Yeah. Especially these days, I'm like, do they even do those extended cable packages? If I could just got to give you, here's everything so you can keep our cable,
at this
please.
Point, probably,
yeah. But that'll be fun. Yeah, we'll talk all about that on Sunday. We'll go through the entire show, the ups and downs, and then
unless you really can't tell, I didn't like it, and Jake didn't mind it. This is what we're gonna deal with on Sunday. So you'll see.
And also too, well, at least, I don't know if I'll be able to watch it, but they have their Genesis pay-per-view on Saturday, and we'll at least know the results of what happened, if there's any changes with it and stuff. So no, it should be fun. It'd be a good show. But the Sunday Spaces shows are just that, where we kind of have basic topics that we're going to cover, but we'll also open it up and see what other people want to talk about, or whatever news happens. You never know, like the rumors, like we talked about yesterday with Powerhouse Hobbs. Did he leave?
So here's my question about this.
Yeah.
How is it that a guy like that just leaves? Like, how does this, no one knows? His contract just expires. What happens? Because we hear so many stories of people that are signed for 5-7 years. They were hurt, so now they're extended. Yep. All of a sudden, yesterday, it just pops up. And then today I was looking, not on Twitter, because I'm not going on Twitter because of SmackDown, but other places. And it seems like this is the case.
Right. Yeah. No, that's when we talked about it yesterday.
How?
I have no earthly idea of what goes on or how those work. And there's not even any real the only consistency is like, if Tony is, I would guess, either like actively negotiating or trying to keep people, he keeps them on TV. Like Jade Cargill basically wrestled until she was done. Hobbs's contract ended on Wednesday night. He wrestled Wednesday night, that they're not even airing till tomorrow. So, but then there's Anna Jay or Ricky Saints or any the other people where they're just not on TV for 6, 8, 12, 14 months, and then they leave. Like, it doesn't.
But we know why they were, or Ricky
right? Yeah, because he knew he was
we know
leaving.
why.
Yeah. But I just
this one, there was nothing.
There was no rumors. And I mean, to me, that kind of feels like it was one of those things where, when they came to him to negotiate, because we looked it up too. Hobbs is older than you think. He's like 34. Like, he's like, I believe 34 was, he's 34. That's not, he's only gonna be able to do a little bit in NXT and then try to get up. He's only got so much time left. I feel like when he was offered whatever they were offering him, he just was like, I'm not going to negotiate. I'm going to take my chances and try to go for the big time. And I've seen people saying, oh, he's going to take a pay cut because, yes, the base salary is going to be lower in a company where you can grow and get bigger and have merch sales and all of that. It's
you got to think from a 20-year-old standpoint and just take the money. And then when you mature enough in your head, you try going over, and hopefully you're not damaged enough by that point.
For sure. No, I don't
think Hobbs got damaged that much, actually, to be honest with you.
No, and that was we were talking Dis and Awful were talking about that on Saturday when their show, and it was one of those things where, you know, Awful's like, oh, he's ruined. He's, you know, he's been powerhouse jobs and that kind of stuff. And I get that. For those of us who are in the bubble,
any of that.
Well,
I agree with none of that.
If you're in the bubble and you've been watching AEW like we have, and you know how bad it is, like I get that mindset of it for those of us that have seen it. But we've talked about this a bunch of times where when an AEW reference is made on WWE TV, how many people react? It's less than 10% of the crowd. As where when NXT people show up, you know, it's probably like 20%, and then it can grow because people at least have an idea of what's going on. This is. Yeah, I don't think anybody really can get ruined in AEW as long as they come out and they can be physically okay, because no one's really watching that. And that
they didn't ruin it anyway. If you look at it,
no, I don't think so.
They actually did it the right way.
Yeah, no, you're right. And
they gave him a whatever move on the cinder blocks. Now he can't move and he's gone. That makes perfect sense. That made sense.
Well, and then they're pretty sure they pinned Hook anyway too with that one on the.
Yeah, because Hobbs was down.
Yeah. So it didn't even bury him at all. I mean, and I would assume they'll probably change his name. And it's one of those things that people are like, oh, they changed their names, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, that's a great thing for Google searches. Like, if people Google search Blake Monroe right now, they just get Blake Monroe. If she still had the Mariah May name and people search that, you might see, you know, her beating up Tony Storm with glass on her taped to her fist.
They're not keeping a name like Powerhouse Hobbs.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, I believe Hobbs is his real last name.
Even if he, Hobbs maybe. You can do something with that. But
because his name is
there's no way they're gonna keep that. Come on.
No. I did see some people's thoughts that maybe if they did want to have him like debut quickly into NXT, he could, and since Ricky Saints has gone heel and kind of doing like the pretty boy gimmick, he'd be a great heavy for Ricky. And they've already worked together as Team Taz. Ricky could kind of help him assimilate. That would be good. And that would be a good way for him to come in, be able to be a part of the mix right away, but maybe doesn't have to have any matches within the first couple of weeks or whatever.
People just come in and be themselves. Just be by yourself.
I mean, you could. I just with him and his size, like it's just so easy to put him in, kind of like what they did with Deacon Batista back in the day. Like it's just an easy thing to set somebody up if they want to get him working quickly. If they've got if they've got a good plan for him, you know, have him work in the PC for.
Oh, I see some people have a great plan for him. He's going to show up at SmackDown next week.
I did see. I saw people thinking he was going to show up at TNA.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but that ain't going to happen.
I think the main reason for that, and I do like the joke, is people can make the Rick Rude reference. You know, when Rick Rude was on the taped Raw and then the live Nitro on the same night. So Hobbs, if he showed up on SmackDown tonight, which would be really hard to get from that would be doable to get from Phoenix to Europe, but he could show up on SmackDown tonight and then be on Collision tomorrow as well, because he's got to drop the title to Jet Speed and Hangman tomorrow on Collision for the trios belts. But it would be funny, but it's for that moment to do it. Is that really worth it? No, it is not.
It's not cost effective either.
Right. No. And like we've talked about this before, and there's so many people, even in our space, doing kind of what we do, that are like, oh, everything WWE does that they're trying to get at Tony. Like they care about Tony. And I've always said it's one of those options where, hey, we can book a show on, the 15th or the 22nd. The 22nd is an AEW pay-per-view. Well, let's do that then, because it's fun. But they're not like actively trying to hurt them. It's just like, hey, if we can, sure. If it's cost effective, great. But bringing Hobbs all the way to Europe to do what on the main roster too? Also, nobody debuts just on the main roster. It's just not. it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
There's no
WWE's
reason.
got their own problems to worry about. I mean, like getting
Right.
these shows a little more zippy. Get me interested. Give me something.
And I'm glad you said that too, in that sense, because it's another one of those things, and where people comment when Triple H or anybody in WWE says it, where like, you know, our competition is, you know, Stranger Things, or like what's on, you know, regular sports. Like their competition is everything, because that's how the world works nowadays. Everybody can get their content whenever they want, so you're competing with all content. Yes, AEW is competition as well, but it's not any more it's not as big of competition. Again, back to what I was saying, like where people within this bubble, because we consume it all every week, you know, you kind of warps your brain. Like the rest of the world doesn't. Think it's not all focused.
Yeah, what's cool is I'm kind of phasing my way out of the bubble. You know,
yeah,
I'm getting a better view from outside of it. It's much better for my point of views, actually, because I don't.
It's one of the biggest. One of the biggest benefits of us doing 3 shows a week, and now I do a 4th because I'm a panelist now on Toonie Talk Wrestling every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on the. Yeah, I thought so. On the Toonie Talk Wrestling channel. Every week it'll be myself, Awful Wrestling, and Dis, and then Marv when he can, Kevin when he can, and possibly some other panelists as well. But by doing all these shows every week, my free time has not been as much in my free time, especially because those are evenings too. So, you know, not something where I can the time and effort working. So I've kind of not given up, but just paid less attention to some of the other podcasts or shows that I used to listen and watch, or like I spent a lot less time scrolling Twitter. Like I'll post a lot and respond and interact with the people in my feed, but I'm not like actively scrolling and looking and seeing new stuff. Like I just don't have the time, and that's better. I've kind of removed myself a bit from the bubble as well.
Yeah, I can't.
It's better off. It's better outside. You know, it's like the reverse of Under the Sea.
Plus you get an idea for what's actually, you can see things differently.
Yeah.
Well, that's another topic. Remember the topic I told you about that I was going to bring up and I couldn't remember what it was?
Yes.
Just remember what it was, and I just wrote it down so I wouldn't remember for Sunday. It's the modern view of the smart fan. We're gonna go. We're gonna get into that Sunday.
I like that. All right, that's that could go a lot of different ways. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's that kind of go back to too about the comment that Conrad recently made with Jeff Jarrett when they were talking about how Alvarez kind of killed Jarrett's push for retirement tour thing, and Conrad surprisingly was talking about how, you know, Dave looks at himself as like the critic and like, you know, the guide to the fans and what that's created, and the modern smart fan. There's a lot of that's trilled into it from Dave and their shittier ways.
Who would have thought Conrad come out on top?
I was shocked.
Conrad. Ooh.
And I posted because I saw it. I forget who I saw initially reach. I think it might have been the Triple H's Thoughts account, maybe one of the bigger accounts and I was the first comment, so I got a lot of likes and activity on that one, and I even retweeted it with my same comment of saying, look, I have been very vocal about my dislike for Conrad and his style and the way he goes about it, but he was absolutely right here, 100%, minus the Dave being like, you know, the Siskel and Ebert of wrestling. But
well, at one point that was true.
Yeah, at one point it was.
Everything he said was exactly right, because having gotten the Observer myself at one point, he's 100%. That's 100% how it was.
Yeah. But just the fact that he was able to, like, I was shocked by that. And I gave him a lot of credit for Conrad. He won't see it because he's had me blocked for like over a year, but that's fine. I don't mind.
I guess they've he's been wanting to talk about that for a while, and Jeff Jarrett has kind of not wanted to. Not wanted to. It just kind of came up organically in their podcast, and he ran with it, and good for him. They're friends.
Yeah, exactly. And they're friends with everybody else. And like, you know, they're friends with Tony, and like, I know Conrad's at least friends with Dave. I assume he is with Alvarez to a point. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, that was a very, very interesting moment from Conrad and Jeff. And I was happy to see it, because usually it's that stuff where, like, we heard Conrad and Jeff talking about John Cena's last match, and whether you liked it or disliked it, to say it was whatever the worst I've ever seen in the history of the sport, like, come on, guys. Especially like Jeff Jarrett laid down for Hulk Hogan. Like,
yeah, I mean, I didn't like it, but I didn't go that far.
Right, exactly. And that's the point. There's like that hyperbole of they usually will say craziness to protect AEW or hurt WWE. So for them not to in this instance, because right now it does seem like the crew that are so pro and we must save Tony and AEW are obviously shitting on everything WWE, and now they're attacking TNA as well because they're right behind them. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Interesting times in which we live.
Yeah. No, again, hey, it gives us stuff to talk about. You never know what's going to come up with it. And that's why we do these shows. So please make sure you like, subscribe, share, donate if you'd like to. We're getting close to the super chat mark. So that's because I know I've had a lot of people tell me that they want to do super chats. It's a big thing people enjoy. And we love doing the live shows. So we will give you those the moment we can. Yeah, now we've got Raw and NXT to cover. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we kind of dive into, what was it, Dusseldorf Raw? Is that where they were?
There was one thing.
What's up?
I wrote it down. Brian Last made a real interesting point that I knew, but I had forgotten about. He was talking about how bland and how average the WWE shows are, which they are. I would agree with that. Some people will not. That's fine. And he said, it's the same writing staff under Vince that's under here. It's Triple H, Road Dogg, Michael Hayes, the same guys. Bruce Pritchard. It's all the same people as it was under Vince. It's never changed.
There's a couple of those folks
at Kowski or someone else like that.
Yeah.
But they're all the same people. There's nobody that's different. And I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Good point. And you're going to have a rut sooner or later.
Yeah. And I'll go back to my point of like some people of watching every little thing and in the bubble, because I will fully say there are certain points and not everything is, because what are we comparing it to? Of like it's going to be as hot as it was going into WrestleMania 40?
He made the point. He made the point. He said it's not going to be as hot as it was, but you can't be. Well, you could. It doesn't matter what people really think, but you can't be stuck in that same groove. Like that one show with Cody and Drew. The show leading up to it was pretty bad. Not okay. It was mediocre at best. And then the main event was pretty good too.
But I liked the entire beginning stuff with Randy and Trick and Trick's match, which took like 40 minutes, and then the back hour was Cody. But so you told me an hour and 40 minutes of a 3-hour show. Like, all right, like it was, and I didn't think everything.
You're easy to please.
Because I would rather enjoy what I'm watching than like, I feel like this is like, and don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Cornette and Last, but I feel like Brian, especially the last year, he's looking to complain about it and like wants it to be Mid-South in the 80s. Like we can't go back.
It's never going to happen, but
exactly. But, and I feel like a lot of people, when they want to do like the nostalgia thing and like, it was great back then, and it was, but you don't have to like shit forward. I don't know. You can look back without shitting forward.
The point he's making is the same people are doing it. It's the same type of storytelling. That's all.
I just don't. But I feel like at least there's. But I feel like the story. See, I look at it with under Vince, where like there were writers there, but you were trying to please Vince within it. Like people had talent within it, because most of the storylines and most of the stuff that's going on, like I do enjoy what's happening within it. Like there's parts of it I don't super care for, but I also am like, I'm never like when I watch AEW, I'm like, I can't finish watching this segment because I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just like, there's no Willow Nightingale's championship celebration with the cake stuff. It's just not as bad. And like, so I guess I'm looking more of like, hey, it could be much, much worse. And like, I'm entertained. And there's certain times like the Cody match and Trick and Randy that I absolutely loved. So, I mean, I would rather enjoy it than not.
I think I'm at the point where I'm almost 60-40 in what I like and what I don't like in WWE currently. Yeah. And that's down from where I was before. Because I'd say when I first started watching, probably 90-10, then, realistically, it should be like 85-15, you would hope for people. But I'm down to where I'm about 60-40, because I could watch segments I see segments I don't like, and I leave. And there's a lot more of that lately for me. But that's me. Again, that's me.
Yeah, no, I get you. And again, what Myra's saying of like in the bubble of it, where all of us that are watching every single week and trying to consume it, there can be more burnout. There's still a lot of people that tap in certain shows and not everyone, or, oh, I really want to see, Punk and Braun, and or like they really want to see whatever, those type of things. Right. Not everybody's like us that watches it every week. And that's kind of where, that's really where I kind of like, it's a conscious decision that I make to try. Like, I would rather at least try to enjoy what I'm watching with it, because why not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's bad, we'll talk about it, because there's certain parts of segments of Raw, like of this week Raw, that I really liked, and other parts are like, woof. But I'm not I would rather, as a whole, I'm usually entertained. Like, I'm watching for it. There's most of it I'm enjoying, or like I see where they build it. Like, little Tarantino with it, but like the stuff with Finn on Raw, where it started with him, and then the stuff that he did, I really thought that was great, and good character building and good storyline progression is the phrase I was looking for. I could not come up with that. I was rambling to get to that phrase. That's what I want. I want logical, conscious, like storyline progressions that make sense, as opposed to like, this is a joke to please Vince, or like Tony, where you're just like, all right, everybody's gonna have a 17-minute plus match, and we're gonna have 14 kickouts every. I would rather there's a mix, and not everything in WWE is great. Yeah, but overall, I'd say I'm 80-20 probably.
I could see where maybe getting one person for each show, just somebody different. Not replace anybody, just throw in a new person to give a new perspective and see what happened. But they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and that's fine.
Yeah, and that's something too that I really think is always a good thing to mix in, whether it's somebody new and maybe they are seeing it more that we don't know. We all are still, not we all, but a lot of people still kind of act like it's the old days where you're getting the full on scripted promos, and it feels to me more of like you're working with it, where it's more of like, hey, get this point across, but you can put this in your own words. Maybe not for like the newer people or people that are still figuring it out, but like for the stars, which is. And with Bron Breakker, sometimes people have said like, oh, he's stuttering and the promo isn't good. And I'm like, no, it just seems like he's really mad and like, get it, and that's real. And so I like those parts of it. So
because if you look at those names I just rattled off, I mean, you got a lot of, even Triple H has been doing it. How long has he been going now? 7 years doing this? Since no, not that long.
Not that long, but if you count out the NXT time, there was the break with the heart, there was the break with his chest up with it. Now, it's not as bad of where like Triple H is the main decision maker of it, but there's teams within it where it's not just like with Bill Watts where I'm doing it all, or Tony where he's doing it all. But there definitely can be some burnouts with it of time for
you would think
anybody.
At this point, Michael Hayes, Bruce Pritchard, Jesus Christ.
But and how involved are they with like every little thing of it too? Yeah. I haven't seen Pritchard around as much in the backgrounds of stuff that they've shown. Like I always like
he was just on TV the last time they went. What was it? Shit. He came out with some formal thing they were doing. I can't remember where I saw him. I saw him on TV somewhere.
Oh yeah, probably something, because they've been doing a lot of that stuff because they got their that new the Not Titan Towers headquarters that they've got. They have done more stuff there. You're right.
It's interesting. Just
I get you. We'll see. I get you. No, I get you. I still think the biggest thing to all of it, though, which is a great transition, packed houses. Like the crowds are still hot. The crowds are still fun. Like people are still enjoying it.
This is Europe too. Let's not forget.
This is Europe too. I know, but it's not like it's Europe where they're coming back only every so often. Like they do this twice a year now. You know what I mean? Like, and
these are pretty much guaranteed sellouts. Guaranteed. Overseas now. They're guaranteed.
I didn't they not sell out the first Germany show? I feel like I heard. I saw people were.
Oh yeah, there was like one empty row behind the hard cam side. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, but and they'll open that up if they have a demand for it. But I mean, it is what it is with it. I feel like as long as they're still getting, they're seeing the traction that they get on social media and. What they're getting at the gates and what people are doing for the pay-per-views and stuff. Like, unlike HBO Max, I'm sure they know their numbers from ESPN and, well, I guess not Peacock anymore, but and Netflix. And so,
yeah, the European crowd doesn't see it every week in their backyard like we all do. I mean, that makes sense. If you don't have a product coming to your town every 3-4 months or so, it comes once a year, you're jumping on it. I'd be there too. Damn it. fuck yeah, I'd be in.
Oh, for sure. No, but I still think they're not. It's not like they're doing 5,000 people houses consistently here in the States, though. I mean, they're still doing fairly well as far as I can tell from the shows when we watch them and what we've seen and what I see on WrestleTix. Like they're not like in a 15,000 arena. They're still getting between 10 and 12,000. That's still pretty damn good. I feel like.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they're not doing well. I'm just saying the Europeans are guaranteed sellouts.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying like that's where WWE is looking at it with it where. Because I feel like a lot of people are wanting like vast, major, sweeping changes, but you kind of nailed it with like inject just a new person here or there. There's got to be somebody in like the late millennial, early Gen Z crowd that can really like help them and kind of get stuff with, and maybe not even worry about the main event scene, like kind of helping have it where everybody's got a good story, which I feel like they're doing better with that. That's one of the benefits of the 3-hour SmackDown. I feel like for sure.
Yeah, at least they're getting a chance. That's the one thing. They have a chance to do something. So
and we'll see. I know this didn't start with your favorite stuff, but I did think it worked out very well with it to get in where I kind of think it's going to go almost for sure. But having all the teams kind of come out with the Judgment Day and then Bayley and Lyra, which. I'm still waiting for Bayley to snap and turn on Lyra. That's got to happen sooner than later. Maybe they're going to have
There's a lot of things that should have happened a while ago, in my opinion. Like Bayley should have snapped and showed the altar. They've been drawing them out. I give them that. They're drawing out the story.
Yeah. And you're also kind of getting into that point of the Rumble's around the corner. So do you have that happen before, during, or after? That's an interesting bit of it. But this sets up to where you're going to have the triple threat number one contenders match for the women's tag titles between the Kabuki Warriors, Judgment Day, and Lyra and Bayley, which made sense. I was fine with it. It wasn't when the segment started. I'm like, oh shit, George is not gonna like that. And then it went quickly and it moved fast and sets up well. And I think with where it goes, that it seems like to me that Judgment Day would make the most sense to take the titles off Rhea and Io, and they can split amicably and everybody stay a babyface because no one, as we've talked about it multiple times. Neither one of them should turn on the other. Like Rhea is the most over, but Io is very over, and there's no reason to have her as a heel right now.
Yeah, I think only thing I would just take away from this a little bit. I don't like 3-way tag matches. I just don't.
I agree.
If it's 3-team or I just don't.
I agree.
There's too much going on.
Yeah, and there's no consistent way of doing it. Like sometimes there's all 3 are in there, or sometimes it's like you have 2 and you can tag anybody.
The problem becomes if you're not in the ring, what are you doing? You can stand there in the corner, or you can pretend to be hurt, or
I get you. I get you.
To get into.
I get you, but at least that match, it wasn't like it went super, super long. And it was good. But I totally get you because I'm not a big fan. Neither of us are that big of fans of multi-man anything. I like singles matches, tag matches. That's what wrestling works well with. Like this little segment with AJ and Jackie talking about Gunther. And AJ, I feel like they mentioned it here. Maybe it was later in the show where that AJ was going to be on TNA, and good for him going out to Germany and then back over to Dallas. I don't know if he's going to be on Raw on Monday, but
so have they got a date for this AJ Gunther match? Is it going to happen, or are they just hinting upon it now?
But it's the main event.
Okay. Well, here's my thing. If Gunther is retiring guys like John Cena.
Oh, you mean the retirement match? Oh, yeah. So that's a good question. I don't know with AJ specifically. I'm not sure when he is set to retire.
He said once he turns 50, but that could be January through December.
That's the thing is like with it seems like this is going to be his last year kind of. And is it going to be where obviously, I mean, I don't think he's ready to retire at this Mania. Does he do similar to Cena, or does maybe like the next Mania is his last? I don't know. I don't know when it would be for him.
Yeah, you got to time this out. You got to time this crap out because you're going to have AJ Styles retiring,
you do.
Chris Jericho retiring, Randy Orton retiring.
Yeah,
a bunch of guys are going to be retiring all on the same time.
No, you're right, and you're absolutely right, and that's why they're bringing people up and refreshing NXT. You're absolutely right, though. It's that midpoint. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. I didn't think about that because I mean, if they're calling Gunther the career killer now versus the legend killer. So It would make sense to do that. I just don't know what AJ's timeline is. I know they've said that he's on he's rounded third, and I feel like I've heard people say that 2026 is going to be his last year, but I also feel like
he actually said he wasn't going to go past 50, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how old is he?
48.
Okay. So then I would think that ended at but then does Gunther have to have the Mania?
That's what I'm at. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because I feel like you're gonna almost have to have him retire not at a Mania, Dave, if you're gonna do it with Gunther, just because Gunther's it's and Brock too in that retirement. I'm like, there's one more that's really, but there it is, Brock. Shit, maybe this is weird, but
and he's born June 7th. So
okay,
June. So there you go.
Okay, what about Bound for Glory?
I don't know. You want to do that outside of your company?
I don't know. I threw
I
get
it. I get it.
Yeah, I wasn't super confident, but I threw it out there anyway. I don't know. I don't know. Like there's definitely options, and I'm sure there's gonna come up with something that'll at least make sense with it. But if he wants his last match to be at a Mania, probably not going to be against Gunther, and that's fine. But maybe he has a Mania match with somebody that's great, and then retires the next night after. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting what they set up and what they're going to end up doing, because they set up one way to go, and you're like, well, you really can't.
Yeah, and then you're like, well, shit. Yeah, no, I was so confident in my answer, and then I wasn't. Very quickly, I was like, yeah. Huh. Oh yeah, speaking of Bruce Pritchard, they showed that he was going to be on Undertaker's podcast during the commercial break when they came back.
That's where I saw him. Okay.
Yeah. No, I was like, I knew you said. I was thinking it was I'm like, oh, probably the Unreal clips, but then I remembered, like, no, it was there. No, I remember that. But then they had this little segment with Finn playing video games and Liv yelling at him. I like this because what the hell has Finn been doing? He's just kind of been putzing around since McDonough got hurt again.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in the back at all for any segments either lately.
And like they've had segments where like the team has come into the clubhouse and he's been there and he's like, yeah, we're pumped, but he doesn't actually do anything. And like there's been some kind of shady side eyes. I was wondering if he was going to turn babyface, but or just maybe leave the group. I wasn't sure, but I like this little segment here for what it sets up later. I thought that was fun.
He's another one that's been around for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, but
you don't think about it. You don't think about him that way because he's still quite athletic in the ring and stuff, but he's been around for quite some time now.
Right. Well, and wasn't it that like didn't AJ take over the Bullet Club from Finn?
I believe.
Right. I think so. Yeah, they're all getting that the age thing catches up with folks, and then it's one of those things too. I know, like with AJ and probably Finn in a similar sense. Where you're like, hey, I'm still able to like walk and be healthy and like I can live my golden years and be able to, move.
Yeah, but I don't know what these guys for the most part have taken good care of themselves in the ring. I'll give them that. The sickos or the WWE haters online like to complain about the WWE style, but I mean, dude, if you're 50 years old and let's change it. If you're 40 or above years old and you're still doing this, Sheamus, all these dudes like this,
Miz.
And you're still going and you still can walk.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Exactly. No, that's one of the things when people talk like love him or hate him with Miz, but I'm like, dude, the guy's had like one major injury in his career. The best ability is availability, man. Like especially in this sport. But then the future is now in this one, whereas you had next coming up. We had Javon Evans, the young OG. I liked it. This
7 shirt too. Cool.
I mean, you connect with the young audience. That's fine. That makes sense. Like I'm into
it. I love it.
No, I think it's great. Like I said, I wanted them to do this, and this is where I feel like we differ a lot than other podcasts. Where, I really thought it would have been the coolest thing to do him to do like the Peyton Manning. Big, hey, I'm a free agent. I could sign with Raw or SmackDown, but I'm coming back to NXT for my senior season. You know what I mean? Like that would have been a cool storyline. It would have been awesome. Plus, I think he needs a little more time in NXT, but they're not going to do that. Clearly, we've moved forward, and great for him. I hope it's awesome. Like, I'm excited for him. So I had similar thoughts about Oba. I said, don't bring him up yet. He needs more time. Clearly, I'm wrong with it. They're moving forward. Awesome. Good for you guys. I'm going to be here and watch. that kind of goes back to where I'm easy to please or optimistic in it, where I'm not going to focus. Like, they didn't do what I wanted, what I think was best. All right, well, here we are. Let's see what happens and enjoy it.
I think it was laid out pretty clearly when we were talking about that Saturday night's main event. I go,
yes.
why are these people chosen? Why were they chosen by whoever chose them to be in those matches?
Right.
They've obviously had their eye on them, and depending on what they did that night, bingo.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah. And good for all of them, for sure. I'm excited for them.
Saul Ruka is just a matter of time.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. And she was on the TNA last night. So yeah, no, she's I'm pretty sure that's coming. I feel like she'll be in the Rumble, but we'll see. Clearly also too, just for anybody who's not sure, Bravo is Tyler Bate, y'all. Like, I feel like people he had this one and they do like the big strong boy lift thing. Like it's Tyler Bate, and I'm pretty sure the other one's Pete Dunne. That makes the most sense to me. But yeah, Javon had to win, clearly. Duh.
Yeah.
You're putting over the young kid. I like it. You had the nice little backstage segment with Heyman and Pearce, which knew was kind of foreshadowing. We didn't know how much foreshadowing. Holy crap, we'll get to that too. But
these always amuse me.
I was just gonna say that. Like, I love this. Like, I couldn't love this more. Like, you have two professionals who know what they're doing. Like, they've been at this for how long? Like, again, with that, and like I said earlier, it's not like there's a script here. It's like, hey, we've got to get these points across and film, action.
Yeah,
with
these great. Two especially.
Exactly. Yeah.
Heyman doesn't need shit.
No, it's
Pearce just needs some, bullet point to hit, and he's good.
Right. And then Pearce, I feel like one of his best things, and that's why he's done this role for so long and was GMing both shows. He's kind of not where he can play off of people very well. Like, it's something that I think I noticed it because that's how I operate. Like, I can't write you a joke or do a monologue, but if we talk, I can say something funny and respond to other people. I mean, that's literally why Dis and Awful brought me onto Toonie Talk. Like, I make them laugh. Like, and Pearce is great with that, with how he operates and how he plays back and forth. And then we had Punk coming out to talk to the crowd, which obviously great, awesome. And then this is where I thought was a cool little segment to have then Finn come out. And
what's interesting to me? This is like the first time I've seen CM Punk dressed. No, I'm serious. I've never seen him with a jacket, pants. Never. I mean, it's
right.
happened. Obviously, it's happened.
Right, but he usually wears the t-shirt.
Can't jolt my memory as to where I've seen it before. And I was like, he's dressed. Oh, cool. Good for him.
Yeah. No, I get you. No, but this is cool. I thought this was like, this is also one of those things, and I have to call it out where people are like, oh yeah, Finn, the hometown boy in Belfast. Belfast is in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland and Ireland are two different countries. That's what the Troubles were all about. It's funny and it's fine. Like, I don't care, but just sometimes when they post it, it's why that we get made fun of by folks overseas sometimes with our geography. Where let's just like when the Scottish warrior Drew McIntyre was the hometown boy in Wales. Wales is a separate country.
Try to make it somewhere adjacent. Within the 200-mile radius, you're good. That's how they operate.
Right. And I get, and you also get that too. It could be like somebody being like, I'm from Arizona. Someone could be from Tucson and they're in Phoenix. They're the hometown boy. Like, it's fine. It just makes me laugh. But yeah, we got it to where, and obviously this made sense to where Finn's going to challenge for the title, have it in Belfast. Like, that's close enough to his hometown. Plus, that'll be a great match. I mean, have they ever had a singles match? I don't think so. Like, when would they have? You know what I mean? Like,
maybe when Finn first came in, but I don't know.
No, because Punk was gone. Finn came in. Punk left.
That's why I said I don't know.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I'm like, maybe when Punk. I don't know. But either way, if they have, it wasn't for the title, and it's going to be a good match. And with Raw on Netflix, like, they can go as long as they want. I'm very much looking forward to that. Is my point. That's like, cool. Sold is what I got to say on that one. But and then we had this match where I was so glad that you said that with the three-way, and I'm like, oh, perfect. I got a picture that encapsulates. Just like the match was fine, but I would have rather it been just singles, I guess, a single tag team against each other.
Officially, this is their first encounter between CM Punk and Finn Balor.
Okay, awesome. Hell yeah. Well, now I'm even more excited because they'll want to put on a show. Like, that's, you don't get that often where you have two guys that have had that long of a career and they've never actually wrestled before. So
yeah, a little behind the scenes. If you ever don't hear me quiet, if you're quiet on my end for like more than 5 minutes, I'm looking up stuff to see if Jake's correct, and if he's correct, I'd like to throw it out there.
Yes. And hey, if I'm incorrect, let me know. We're doing.
Right.
I'm
equal opportunity here, pal.
George is like, I'm ready to, you son of a bitch. That's great. No, I would rather. Again, like I've had people send me, like I've misquoted on tweets. I've had like Mike Glass be like, hey, like DM me, I was wrong. I'm like, comment on my tweet. Let me know I'm wrong there, and I'll respond. I'm not going to be right about everything. I don't want to be like, that'd be weird.
One of the cool things about doing the show is you just come up with, you're going off the top of your head.
Yes.
You're coming up with your memories and stuff, and you're not going to be 100% correct.
Right.
The object of the show is not to be a dictionary or encyclopedia. Right. Encyclopedia is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, we're fun.
Not to be an encyclopedia of wrestling. It's just our take on stuff, and we're not going to be right nearly all the time. It's
it's
our look at how
we're like buddies at the bar, hanging out.
How we sit and watch things is how they're in our head and how they come out to you guys out there.
Right.
It's just the way it is. It's not going to be factual.
Yeah. Right. We each take like a little bit of notes during shows just to be like, hey, this happened or that. But it's never like, I don't write anything out much beyond that. It's like, it's bullet points of stuff. We're just having discussions with it. And that's fun with it though. Like, I feel like a lot of people like, hey, and that's where in the internet world where people like, they just, if they get called out on it, instead of having a discussion about it, they just go to the name calling and yelling at you and stuff. And it's like, come on, guys, like we can have debates. We can have discussions. It's fun. But this match was fine overall, but I kind of thought where this was going. Like it kind of makes the most sense to me to have the Judgment Day in this iteration with these two win the titles and then have Rhea and Io split.
Was Raquel there at all?
No, not for this one. I think she'll be their heavy though, because I don't think she beats Stephanie and then she can be their heavy during matches.
I don't know. I can't see these two short girls being.
That's a valid point. I
just don't see it.
I'm just more of like, how are they going to have Io and Rhea split amicably of it and that idea? But it's a valid point though. You go, you're not wrong. Then you had the Becky promo segment where she's doing her best, like, whatever she calls it. What is it, like mediocre Maxine and other different names for it. Becky's fantastic. I don't know.
Say what you want about Becky in the ring. She might have lost a step or two, but she's picked up whatever she's lost in the ring, outside the ring.
And look what she's doing for the younger talent. Like, I mean, say what you want about
she's trying for everything.
Yes, and then she did it with Lyra too. Yeah, she is giving back as best she can. Whether people are taking it and moving forward with it, yeah. But Becky's doing great. She's awesome.
She's the female Drew McIntyre of the social media.
Yeah, very much so. Power Mad Pearce. That's what she called him. I knew it was something. And talking about AJ's interference and Jessica Carr. Like this.
But it's all true, though.
It is.
What she's saying is all factual, which is cool.
Which is where and that's why the Drew McIntyre comparison is great, because they're right about it. They're right. They're just presenting it to you like a jackass, and it's perfect. Like that's why Roddy Piper was like the greatest heel ever, because he was mostly right about what he was saying, but he was being such a jerk about it. And
that's what people don't want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth.
Exactly. No, it was good. But it also sets up also in Belfast, and Becky's Irish, not Northern Irish, but close enough. So I liked it. This is cool. Now the next segment was where Raquel came out and started cutting her promo, and then I was so great. Yeah, I'm pretty positive it was on the other foot the last time. I don't know if they switched it again this time.
No, it was on the left foot.
Was it on the left foot? Yeah. No, all right. Yeah, you're right. Because she then did the stuff again. Yeah. And this was good. Again, they're trying, making it so Stephanie doesn't have to vacate the title, but she doesn't have to defend it, so soon with it. But
they should have been doing this Raquel so much longer ago.
Well,
but due to health, okay, maybe take that back.
I get you. I just feel like
she's a powerhouse, dude. She really is.
Yeah. No, it seemed to me like they were that she was going to turn babyface and be a big badass babyface, but then they swerved us, bro. And this works because this is awesome. And
I don't want to see her as a babyface in the least bit.
No, I didn't really so much want to. I just thought that's where it was going, to split it with but this is so much better. And then, I mean, she could win the title, but I just don't think she does. but has a great match with it or whatever. But then she can be the heavy, and that's what, for the reason of why Liv and Raquel could hold on to the titles for a decent while, would be because they've got this woman with her. So I like that.
She may end up beating her just because of the foot problem.
Right. And I don't know how bad it is. It seems like it's just like a severe rolled and a really bad like sprain kind of situation with it from what the pictures I've seen. But I am just like we're not breaking news, just like we're not always right. I am not a doctor, and I never claimed to be, nor did I play one on TV.
So think of this for a minute.
Yeah.
Raquel, I'm just going to go fantasy here for real quick.
Go for it.
Raquel beats Stephanie. Okay, and then you got Roxanne and Liv. Okay,
mm-hmm.
Raquel and Roxanne take out Liv, make Liv a baby face.
I mean,
I might talk myself out of that here.
Right, because like as it would work, Liv is just such a good heel. Like,
someone's got to go.
It
One
does.
of the three's got to go.
And that's why I thought it was going to be Raquel. Like right there was why I thought that too. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe they drag it out for a bit. I don't know with it, but
I'll stick with it. Just for the record, I'll stick with myself.
So then if Liv turns babyface, does Dom turn with her, or does Liv turn on Dom? You know, I mean, there's other levels there. Maybe they'll find it out to where they'll be saying, and they can kind of show back to where Dom's been with, banging Raquel on the side or whatever. I don't know.
Roxanne, stick with
Raquel.
Roxanne
moves. I meant Roxanne. Yeah.
Well, now that Liv's gone, Roxanne moves in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'll stick with it.
There's options there for it. I'm intrigued by it. There's good and this is where I was kind of saying, like, this wasn't the greatest stuff leading up to it, but I was intrigued by all this. Nothing offended me. Nothing that I felt like I needed to fast forward through. I enjoyed what I was watching. We're good. That's what I mean about, it's a lull, but I'm not upset by it. It's not terrible television for me, for sure. Then we had Jay talking to Jimmy on the phone because I'm pretty sure Naomi's about to have her baby or something. Pretty positive she's close to that. But I still think Jay's turning heel at some point sooner than later. But good for Tozawa and Otis. They're getting a championship match. They're going to lose, but good for them.
Yeah, they shouldn't be on here, but
yeah. And then you had Austin Theory and the Auszilla coming out, where I just love these teams that Heyman's putting together. We got, Bronson Reed teaming up with him. We got Logan Paul and Bron Breakker. Just Heyman leading like the future of the business is great for all.
Really going to be interesting when Rollins comes back.
Yes, I agree. I just like this shot that they had on there too. But yeah, and then it's Penta and Dragon Lee. I still feel like we're getting this all to eventually have Penta and his brother team back up, Lucha Bros, Penta and Phoenix, but we'll see.
They put them on different shows for a reason. So
yeah, I just feel like at some point sooner than later, they're going to team back up, but you're right. This match was fun. This was what you wanted from this match. You kind of, everybody gets to shine. Everybody gets over a bit. The baby faces win, but then the heels do their shit. Like the heels still make it, they've beaten crap out of people. And that's also where this team is great.
You could not pay me enough money to be under that guy coming down. I'm sorry. I don't care if his knees hit first and miss me by a mile. The literal fear of seeing him coming down.
What was that old Saturday Night Live skit? Oops, I crapped my pants. Yeah. How do you know? Because I'm wearing them, and I just did. Good Lord, you are so right, my friend.
Imagine looking up and seeing that coming down.
Yeah, when they say look up at the lights, but you look up and he's covering all of the lights ahead of you. Just, oh God.
There are no lights. It's dark.
It's hello, darkness, my old friend. And then the spear from Braun, which just... and then they had the like the angle with the drone. You're good. No, yeah, but oh my God. I mean, I know that they've got to pull it back. I don't think I would take the spear from Braun either for amount of money. I'm gonna pass. I would happily take chops from Gunther, which I know would still hurt, but I feel like I would recover from those faster than the tsunami or the spear. But that's
when you take the spear. Like to get an answer from a professional on this. Like, do you arch your body to like take it, not really take it in the gut? Like, do you arch your back, forward?
I don't know. And like, do they pull? They shaved Ron's shoulder. It's a shaved down shoulder.
Yeah, probably not.
No, I don't know. There's certain, and that's why Yeah, back on Tuesday when I was on Toonie Talk Wrestling, it was just me and Disney. He was kind of like interviewing me about how I got into wrestling. And one of the things I always loved was that like my dad specifically was like, that stuff's fake. It's all fake, blah, blah. And I would watch them like, how is that fake? Like you can't fake that. Like, yes, it's predetermined. They're faking, they're pulling some punches or whatever, but there's certain things you can't friggin' fake. And
yeah, this one always confused me. And
yeah, Spears always
the Meteora move that Mercedes does, and then there's the ass move that the girls do. And I don't know how you can be there. It just I know you missed their face, you hit the rope in front of them, but still, that's
yeah, exactly. But still. But then we had the viral moment of the show where Adam Pearce is trying to, assert his dominance, and you can see Heyman in this picture like, oh shit, this is not gonna work. And then Bron, I'll kill you. Ah! I retweeted the video that WWE had posted that, and I was just like, pants shatting. Good God, just horrifying. And like the different angles they've shown of that, like
at least you knew it was coming in theory.
Yeah, no, but just like the vein, like this is where Breakker is just. I mean, I know he's active. Oh Jesus! Like just no, that's just.
Well, you needed him to snap like Scott used to snap.
Yes, exactly. No, and that's what this was. Yeah, no, it was great. It was awesome. Like, and it just helps get him more and more over, and more that he's the future and one of the biggest stars of the business sooner than later. And then you had another Obafemi vignette, which is great. Obviously, he's coming up sooner than later with what's happened on NXT and stuff. And then Jackie Redmond had an interview with Gunther, similar to like with the one she did with AJ, and Gunther basically saying he's gonna murder him. And no, yeah.
I also don't like the whole make him tap out like a bitch thing. Just make him tap out.
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Don't need to bitch anymore.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot we had this little segment too, where Pearce trying to get in Breakker's face and suspending him, and saying he's gonna press charges or whatever. And then of course Heyman's like, no, you touched him first or whatever. Like, just the weaseliest weasel to ever weasel. I love it. No, I thought that was great.
His dad was an attorney, right?
Yes. His dad was an attorney and his mother was a Holocaust survivor. You can't tell, like he was just bred like that's he knows how bad things can be and how to work people. No, that's also why he says
now he's become Alfred Hitchcock.
Well, that's actually why he's in the interview he did with Rick Rubin on Rick Rubin's podcast. He talked about it. Like, that's why he's fat. Like him eating made his mom happy because she was a Holocaust survivor and it never stopped. And yeah, no. But this is just great, and I'm excited to see where this goes with it, because every time with Breakker, they just make him better and better. I love it. And then we had the main event, another match for the first time ever. Gunther and AJ had never wrestled before, and this was a fun match. Like, I was happy to watch it, but like we all kind of knew where it was going to go. But I enjoyed it. It was fun to see Gunther be somewhat of a babyface, since he speaks German and all.
Yeah, it's true. He wasn't. Yeah. Makes sense.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I meant to talk about, the German crowd, where they were chanting Ludwig Kaiser during the Americano match when Kaiser was outside, and he did like the look around, like, what? No.
That's not me. That's not me.
Yeah, no, that was funny.
Who's that guy?
Yeah. And then AJ does the calf crusher, and Gunther like taps out to AJ, but the referee doesn't see it. As to trick AJ. Also, look at the size of Gunther's feet in this picture. Jesus, every time he hits you with that boot, large man. Then he gets the powerbomb in the win, and of course he did. This was fun. I enjoyed it.
If they were gonna build some of this story like long term to kill his career, this would have been a good DQ finish for this one.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be kind of, and it'll probably be kind of a trope, because it's an easy trope to do, of just like the. I know I can beat him. I know I can do it. I know this time I can take over, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll see what they do here, but
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, like you said, it was pretty easy to figure out who was going to win. I was hoping maybe they'd do something with AJ.
Yeah.
AJ, I don't think AJ's won in a while. Like, well, they were champ.
They were tag champs. So.
I answer my own fucking question.
Yeah. No, yeah. And that's other things we like to do on this shit. Talk it up, figure it out. But overall, like I said, like, it wasn't the greatest Raw, but it also wasn't egregious. I feel like us watching AEW every week has really made WWE feel like a better show, just because. Woof. But I enjoyed it. It was decent Raw for sure.
I agree.
All right, and then we also had NXT, which was fun, but I mean, I feel like it was kind of a quick show because they're kind of like resetting. It was more of like a new season and introducing new characters. Because Obafemi vacated the title, which made sense. Like he's moving up, moving out, and Ava was getting.
How else would they have done this? How else would have made sense? Because I didn't want to see him lose.
Right, and I think that's the issue. Like, I don't know any other way to have him do it.
Yeah, there's no
like,
way.
Yeah, it goes back to like Austin when he vacated the Intercontinental title to go for the world title. He hadn't won the world title yet. He was just like, I'm done with this. You couldn't have him lose that and move forward, for that momentum. There's certain times where you definitely can, like Trick lost a bunch.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
Right. But just exactly. So it was one of those things where when it happened, I was surprised, but then not, because how else you gonna take it? It's kind of the only option you have.
Yeah, it was good the way they did it too. So put some intrigue to the final bit of the show when she was in the back pumping up the Evolve kids, and then the guy comes in and says, "Oh my God."
And it helps Ricky to be like, he left because he doesn't want to face me, which is not the truth, but it was part of it. Great more heel stuff where he can say something that could be true, but it's not, but it works for his character with it. Like, I like that. I thought this worked. This made sense. And then Ava was saying that they're going to have a ladder match. I think she just said February 3rd. Like, that's a Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday, February 3rd. So it's not a PLE or anything like that. But it's going to be a 6-person ladder match, and starting next week there's going to be qualifying matches for it. So
interesting.
It'll be interesting to see who's going to be in it with it. But Ricky was just like, give me the belt, which she wasn't going to do. But basically she set it up to where everybody was going to fight, and they had the belt hanging above the ring, which I thought was smart, just to kind of give everybody that, onus and eyes to something to look forward towards. And then you had like literally everybody in there. And then this guy comes out, Keanu Carter. I have heard the name, but I have not seen him. But obviously they are trying to make sure he's been introduced, because he came in and cleared everybody. He was throwing people around and slamming people onto the outside of the ring, and they gave the close-up of his face. So, people are like, what are they going to do without Oba and Trick and Javon? Like, they'll figure it out.
Oba. He looks like Oba's brother.
Right?
He doesn't like him. He does.
The mean face. I get you.
Dude, I thought this was cool. NXT is so good with the black talent. They really are. I mean, I just don't, I don't know how to describe it exactly.
Well,
but
I feel like a lot
they
of that.
They don't go out of their way.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they find somebody that looks like an athlete, like Trick, and all these guys that come up and they look good, and they push them.
Yeah.
And
it's one of those things of like, oh God, no. and we're about to see more leave, apparently, from what we're hearing. And probably showing up in NXT. It's just one of those. I feel like that's. And whether, no matter who anybody is, male, female, black, white, whatever, the NIL program, and then also the WWE ID program, like the 3 that just came up, Trick, and I know Trick was like right before, but I still feel like Trick is who they base the NIL program after, of like an athlete who's not going to be able to go pro in their sport, but is an athlete, and we can coach them up, and they've got charisma. Oba was in the NIL program, and then Javon is he was the example for the ID program, figuring things in the indies. And if you're willing to do the work, take the chance, like they're going to push you and push you to the moon. And
Flash Legend.
Oh gosh. Yes. Forgot about her. Yeah, no. And she's Kalani Jordan's another one, like which is where the first match was. You had Kalani Jordan coming out. And this is kind of cool of another thing too, of they set it up big for like the big shot for the men's titles that are important with it too. But then you had the 2 of the, up and coming hottest stars in NXT, and Kalani and Lola come out, which, this is a good feud between the 2 of them. This is a good feud for both of them. I mean, I
was trying to think there in this match, is Lola bigger in NXT or AAA?
I want to say AAA right now. But I feel like she's gonna on the come up in NXT. I feel like she's going to be either the North American champion or the NXT champion sooner than later, I would think. But maybe, I mean, I don't know. The AAA stuff, if it's working with making that partnership better, I mean, she's cashing paychecks and on big shows.
I don't think she gets any titles here because she's so successful there.
Maybe not. Yeah,
that's why. Yeah. That's why. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, and obviously the partnership is doing well for everybody, and I don't think she's upset about getting to do Arena Mexico shows and stuff, and her and Priest are a real life couple. Maybe that's something that he could even do. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because people are saying how there's not. Maybe he's kind of gotten stale on the main roster. What's the old phrase? Like, how can I miss you if you won't go away? Yeah. Or what was JR's quote here? Go on down and learn a new hold. He came back with a new hold. Like that'd be cool. I'd go with that.
Go out and get a new coat of paint.
Yeah, that's another one. There's the other one. Yeah, whatever cliche you want. Yeah. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Lola does get the push in NXT because clearly they believe in her and she's over and she's got a lot of talent and she is not rough to look at. And then you had the speed match where, again, more young, big black talent of Tavion Heights and Jasper Troy. They're just two big old boys. I mean, it's like next to Jasper, Tavion doesn't look that big, but then you realize that Jasper Troy's a monster. But Tavion,
they're good. They've gotten back to the big wrestlers lately. NXT used to be the small guys flying all over the place. That has changed.
That's a good point. Yeah. And we're a long way from the undisputed era running NXT.
Dude, think about it. It changed quick too. All of a sudden it just switched.
Well, I think that's where Sean kind of excels, where, hey, he's not, it's kind of like how I operate. Like, how we got here, if I'm not worried about that right now, I'm going to work with what's in front of me. Like if we can fix the how later or work with the how later, but he doesn't care. He's like, we're getting great talent. I'm going to work with what's in front of me. Now I got these big dudes. Let's push them, and he, but still makes it work where you can have matches with a guy like Leon Slater, who's a smaller guy against, Oba and Femi. I think, I think Sean's perfect for this role for it too. I gotta
be honest. I love it more when the big dudes are in the ring. I really do.
I mean, it's more fun to watch. I agree.
It looks like there's an actual fight happening. The bigger guys can lay it in more and do that stuff more snugly. Or else hitting each other. What doesn't matter? They can tell each other, hit me. It's fine.
Yeah.
They don't care.
No, and I mean, that's a valid point because like I said, I'm not big on the whole strong style thing because I want what we talk about. Wrestling's supposed to look like you're hurting each other, but you're not. As opposed to hurting.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's a difference between laying it in and doing what you just said.
Right.
Difference.
And I feel like with the strong style stuff, they kind of had to do that because they were smaller, so they had to attack each other that way to get over with it. And that's why you see guys like the British, not the British Bulldog, but the other one, Dynamite Kid. Thank you. Thank you. My brain, I lost that one. Yes, but he was strong.
I understand how that works fine. Thank
you.
Right.
That's why we're a team. Help each other out. And I knew if I said Bulldog, you'd get me there. Thanks, buddy. But there was because the bigger guys you can like they talk about where you hit each other in smart places, like hit somebody in the chest or the leg as opposed to like
you hit this guy in the stomach, he don't even care,
right? Or hit him like in the chest or the back. Yeah, he's
not gonna give a shit if you hit him and punch him in the gut. He ain't gonna care.
It's his gut might grab your fist. No, he's a large guy. And clearly they believe in him, which is fun. And then he beats Tavion Heights, and then Lexus King comes out and gets into it with Tavion Heights, which is a good feud for both of them. That makes a lot of sense. At least I thought it. And then you had the point where
I like where they're going with Lexus King a little more.
I do too. I really do. I think he's great with it. I think he's a much better like douchebag heel than I thought he would be with it. He's really good at it. And then you had Elio LaFleur promo and Ethan Page coming to Ava saying, where's my match? Am I just in the 6-man or whatever? And she's like, no, you got to face him, which is what we keep talking about with Ethan Page. Like, who do you need to make somebody look good and you're not sure about them or you're trying to grow them, make them better. Put him in with Ethan Page. Like,
this will be interesting because nobody knows about
exactly.
On our end, anyway. No, over here,
right?
No one knows.
And that just shows the faith that they have in Ethan Page. Like, and even if I'm sure they know enough, and I'm sure he knows a little, but even going in blind, he'd be like, "Yeah, it's fine." Like, you trust Ethan Page to do that. Like, he's gotten everybody over and better that he's worked with. You know, I mean,
this will be a true test. This will be a true test.
And that's why I grabbed this picture. I was very intrigued by that, and good for Ethan, man. It is the perfect position for him. He's great at this. He really, really is.
I kept hearing, I got in it with somebody somewhere. It was a friendly thing, but people were like, yeah, Ethan Page should be called up. I'm like, nope, no, he shouldn't.
Right?
Why not? I go, dude, look what he's doing. Look what he's doing down here. He's working with every young talent possible. Every single one of them. He wins. He's a champion. He lives there. He's got kids. All the stuff we talked about.
Right. Yeah. And
the guy comes back and he's like, you might be right there. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
It's a value, and like the thing is, it would kind of depend on him. I feel like if he had this giant desire to go up and see what he can prove on the main roster, he could do it. Like they would let him because he's that talented. Like you could, but I feel like he kind of knows like this is the best fit for him. And look what he's doing for these talents. I still just look at Javon as the prime example. Like they had that long thing where, he broke his wrist or he broke his jaw. It was the other guy who broke the wrist. But like they had that program for months at the end of, I think it was the end of 2024. And it was great. It was an awesome program. He had to deal with Trick too, when Trick was a babyface. Like he's perfect for this. And this is the example. Like we're bringing in somebody new that we're going to try to see what we can do and put some effort in, especially like a French luchador, like WWE smart. Like, all right, let's attract the French audience loves it when we come to town. Let's try to get a star over. Like it's perfect.
Yeah. I know nothing about Ethan Page personally, but I gotta think as a man, if you have a family, you're in one city all the time. You don't have to go anywhere. You can support your family. You're on TV. You're regarded as the champ. You are the champion. Yeah. You're regarded as one of the best workers now in the business. Double
champion too.
You're regarded as one of the best teachers in the business. Why would you want to move?
Right, and kind of similar. That. Right, and what we were talking about with Lola Vice, like if you need that like big show feel, he gets that with AAA. He's the mixed tag champion with Chelsea Green, and when they go to AAA at Arena Mexico, they're in featured matches. Like, I don't like. It's one of the things when he smiles, when he points to it, like that's not healing. That's not him acting. He seems like a very, especially also too with where his career was in TNA before he went to AEW. He fought himself in like a digital something match or whatever.
At least he's got over that now.
Right, and then even when he was in AEW, like you could see he was talented, had some work, but he was with Dan Lambert, that stupid group that never went anywhere and just was floundering.
Had potential.
It did. Oh no, it did, because Scorpio Sky is talented, and honestly, Dan Lambert's promos were pretty good. Like he was cutting you, it just was never booked right. And then he shows up here, and like I feel like they kind of nailed it with him, where in his first major title match, like he got knocked out but fell on somebody to get the pin and win the title. So which is great for a heel. And then he can always say he was a champion. He won the the NXT championship the quickest. He was able to. It's perfect for him. And I feel like that from the beginning, they've kind of known what they're doing and set him up for it. And yeah, he's kind of here to help people get on the main roster and get better. And look at Trick and look at Javon.
And you don't have to get somebody you don't have to get somebody in the main roster. You can have somebody stick around down here too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying he helps people get to the main roster better. You know what I mean? And that's he's in his 30s, like you said, got 2 young kids. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And if he's happy and getting a big paycheck, and also too sitting there like, all right, so when I retire, I'm now an NXT coach. Thank you. Like it's perfect. It really is. But then we had Blake Monroe coming out, cutting a promo, and then it was the return of Jada Parker, which was cool to see.
She looked totally different on her return. I didn't recognize her at first.
I did from her music.
Good thing they put the sign up, because I didn't know it. Don't forget, I'm watching you.
Sure.
I'm listening to you guys on YouTube, so I'm watching this and listening to you guys on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I watched.
I'm kind of watching this, and I didn't recognize who it was on. I'm like,
I had it on my TV, but I ended up having to watch it again on the CW app the next day, like just for storyline stuff to make sure I knew what was going on, because that's also what I'm bringing to TTW is the NXT knowledge and that kind of stuff, and helping be. And what you did too, where like questions being asked, looking it up in the background. I've got that answer, trying to help out. But this is cool. Like Jada Parker gets to have gets over on Blake, and I would assume they're going to have a little feud going on. I'm not sure how long it's going to be. I still think Blake's probably, because if you're not going to have her have a title on NXT, I think she should probably just go up to the main roster then. And I don't think she's taking the title. She doesn't need to go back to the North American title, and she would just be doing the same thing that JC's doing as well as anybody can do it. So I think
I think she needs more in-ring activity.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just doesn't look smooth to me. Still looks nervous, which is weird to me. Again, this is all my point.
Yeah, no, I get you. Also, I was also at one of the worst and quietest women's matches in the history of wrestling television on Wednesday. So she's better than that. That's mean. That's my bad. That was mean. Then we had the TNA International title again. Shiloh Hill having his moments, doing good vignettes and getting work on TV. The people reacting to him. Great stuff to see for that guy. Like, clearly they believe in him and he's got a future. And then Stax and Ariana are fun. I didn't realize until I watched TNA on Thursday that Ariana had turned on Santino. She kicked her dad in the groin. Like, she's gone full heel, which is great, right? Yeah, I think it's great. I like it. Like, these two are a perfect, they're not Edge and Lita, but that style of couple, which
this should be works. Jungle Boy and Andy.
Yo, my God. A long drive deep to left field, way back. George has hit it out of the park. God, this is where it should have been immediately with Jack Perry. Like, when you brought it. Yeah. Oh, my God. Good Lord. I got nothing else but just so much yes.
Yeah,
but
I'm just over here thinking about that.
Yeah, no. And then Anna Jay, back to what we talked about earlier with Powerhouse Hobbs, where he clearly wanted to keep him and let him work. Anna Jay was like, nah, whatever. And we haven't seen her on TV. And I mean, well, maybe she's been on Collision, but that stands to we haven't seen her on TV. And I hear her contract's coming towards an end, but we'll see. They had the Izzy Dane promo here. I saw like a 2-minute clip on Twitter of her being interviewed after she won the North American title with Bully Ray on Busted Open. I guess he does a Busted Open After Dark is what it was called. And they do a NXT post show. I might try to listen to that a little bit more, because it was a good interview where he was talking to her about how she wrestled two matches in the same night and how wrestling shape is so much more than, like, she was a volleyball player because she's super tall, and how that was one shape, but this is a whole different thing. And no, it seems like she's got a good mindset. I was impressed with the interview I saw with her. I don't know too much about her, but I'm more excited to see her than I was. I think she's
she's convincing is what I want to say. I mean, she seems like what she's saying, she can back up too.
Yeah, and it seems like she's got a good head on her shoulders with it. And again, the NIL program in full force. And then Tatum Paxi comes out, does her crazy stuff. Like, clearly, I mean, obviously this was going to go on for a bit since, Izzy cost Tatum the title and the NXT women's title, and then got herself the North American title later. Like, clearly there's going to be a title feud. I would think Izzy keeps it, but this was good. I enjoyed this.
The only minor problem you're starting to run into in the women's division is a lot of the women are bigger now too, and the main core of women they have there are smaller. Like at the time, Stephanie Vicker, Paxley here, they're all smaller. So it's kind of I'm not sure how to describe what I'm saying, but
I get where you're trying to go with it in that sense of it. And that's where, it's a hard part because it's a hard thing to do. Cause you were talking about Liv and,
it's the same thing in the main roster.
Yeah. Like, there's a point where certain things can work with it. And like, there are, like, it's good to have some smaller wrestlers, but not everyone's going to be Rey Mysterio is the point.
Right. That's for example, on the main roster, you got Nia with Lash Legend.
Yeah.
Where it'd be good to have them against each other, which probably will happen eventually.
Right.
It should be good because they're equal size, and it's not Nia against Alexa Bliss, which is
right. No, that's a good point.
You're not buying what they're selling. I'm sorry.
I get you. No, I fully get you. I do. No, I do. And then you had the main event where Joe Hendry versus Dion Lennox from Dark State, which I thought this was cool where they had like the Joe TM. Joe Hendry coming out with OTM of like making friends with it because he knew the Dark State was going to be crappy around him. And, I kind of feel like this is where I heard some people thinking that Joe Hendry was going to get called up. And I kind of feel like he was introduced and doing his stuff before, but I feel like now he's going to be like in the main title mix on NXT for at least a bit. I don't think he gets called up yet. I don't think so
either. I think they got to do some kind of image switch. You know what I mean?
Like everything with NXT. Yeah, he's got to do. Like, I don't know if he has to go heel.
No, I don't think so. I think the image has to change a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. I do. And I think that's what they're doing with it. That's why this was a no DQ match or a no, I think it was just no DQ. Yeah, no DQ match, which was fun. And I liked how they had the NXT title hanging up above the ring the whole time. I said that earlier, but I liked it in these shots where you could see it because Joe's going to be in that mix. This wasn't a contenders match for it yet. They're starting that next week, but Joe's got to be in that match.
Have they had a feud leading up to this?
Yes, they did. Yeah. And I think this is like the blow off for it.
Good. Okay.
That's how this was supposed to be. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was a no DQ match and this is the first time they wrestled.
No. This was the blow off of it. They've been having, because they had a match.
Acceptable.
Yep. Right. Exactly. That's a proper damn feud. I know that's how it's supposed to go. No. And I like this for it. This was good. Like everybody got good moves in. Everybody kind of shone and got their shine in, but then Tony D comes in because I don't know if you noticed, but during like all the backstage segments, he was walking around there. Yeah, or walking around, which is cool. Like whatever they're doing with him, I like that it's still kind of a mystery. Like we all know who he is. Clearly he's changed because the gimmick was what it was, but I like this. This was cool. And I love this. Like he hits Dion with the chair and then picks up Joe and hits him with the, whatever I guess it's choke slam, and then puts Joe's arm on it. Like this was great. Like,
I don't remember what it was.
Right? Yeah, no, it does. But I'm bad with names in the general way.
I was surprised he put him on top.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this was still to keep him. This is still, I think, to keep it so where he still could be a babyface out of this is how I kind of took it in that sense. That's why he put Joe on top of him with it, but he could still easily be a heel. And then Ava starts sending in security guards and he's just murking people. And that's how the show ends. I'm interested. Because I said this well before, like, I like Tony D. He's talented. He's got good size. Like he's not a massive guy, but he's a big guy. Like clearly he's got talent. The mob gimmick was silly, but he made it work for me in the most ways of it. And then the way they ended it with the Sopranos stuff, and I'm intrigued by it. I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but I am a fan personally of Tony D. So
I just wish someday they would get some security that actually looks like security.
I give you that. It's usually just
like security.
Yeah. And I feel like NXT would be easier because you're not going from town to town. You could have local people in the sense. It's not like you're. Yeah, because I feel like with the main and even with AEW or wherever you're going, you've got to get local talent. And some places you might get, you'll get Big Ben Bishop and guys like that. Other places you're getting, somebody.
Because I got news for you. Whenever I work security, the main rule is if you're in trouble, call and we'll all be there.
Right.
That's how it works. You work as a unit, now one at a time.
Right. But that's like every action movie too, where like Jason Statham standing there and they all come at him one at a time. It's like, if you just swarmed him.
Doesn't work that way, folks.
No, but it's more fun for the action fans of it. But I mean, NXT, it is what it always is. Where, like I said, it's not the best show, but it's always fun. That's usually the most fun. And I like that they're like immediately like they're not wallowing in, hey, we just lost basically 3 of the guys who've been in our last like 15 to 20.
No, they did a whole Evolve segment, letting all people know we got openings.
Yeah, which is why shout out to our listener Anthony, where he's an Evolve watcher and he's kind of sending me reports and stuff. So not that so much we're gonna cover it, but so I know who the hell these people are. So when they show up, I can help us out with that because we only have so much time to watch so many different things. And on Wednesdays we watch AEW Dynamite, so that on Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on this YouTube channel, we can do a live review and we watch every segment. As cringe and difficult as it is, so you guys don't have to. We'll tell you what happens with every segment, with the storylines that Tony thinks are there. Like one of my friends messaged me earlier today, Shubin did, and he said he couldn't figure out why Darby was trying to wrestle Pac so hard. And I'm like, well, there's no real reason. He's just beat everybody else and hasn't beat him 2 or 3 times, and that's the why he fell on stairs. But we review
For that little bit, it made sense to us, I guess.
Yeah, I guess to us, but I mean, really, is that a big story though? Like, yeah, all right. But it was, but again, we watch every segment, every match, every part of it, so that you guys don't have to. Come in, chat with us live. We put chats up on the screen. We love to interact with folks. The more the merrier. Share it with friends. And then every Sunday at 8:05 Eastern, we're back here on the YouTube channel, and we simulcast on both of our X accounts because Sunday Night Spaces started on X, and we'll always be there. But if you want to interact with us live, come to the YouTube, like, comment, interact with us. We have a lot of fun, especially on the Sunday show. Like Thursday, we focus on AEW and Dynamite and get through all of that. But Sunday is kind of a round table, open forum. You never know what's going to be happening. This Sunday, we'll cover SmackDown and TNA. But, you know,
I got a couple other subjects we're going to touch on.
Nice. Yeah. See, George always has something to start off with, or gives me a nice, good thinker with it, which is good. It gets me on the spot.
Yeah, usually the Bills play before we go on Sunday, but this week they go play Saturday. So I'll know tomorrow night whether I'm going to be in a bad mood Sunday or not.
Well,
and that's not something I'm ready for, but we'll see. And Don Wayne from Squared Circle Maniacs and myself have a bet on this game. So
nice. Yeah, no, that's good. I like that, especially because he's one of the biggest NFL fans I know. Like it's you and him.
He's a Denver fan.
Completely. He's a big Broncos guy. So
the stakes are interesting. I'm not going to disclose any further.
Yeah, no, we will. Well, you have to tune in to find out for sure. And then I'm also a panelist every Tuesday on Toonie Talk Wrestling on, I believe it's just YouTube /@Toon Wrestling is what it is. But more people I feel like know that than this one. So, but yeah, tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's usually me, Dis Awful, and whomever else. And I think that's everything else. Anything else you wanted to cover or get into before we get the hey out of here?
That covers it all.
Sweet. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody for hanging out and listening with us. Everybody who
Sunday
donates. And also, too, we're available on all podcast platforms if you can't catch us here on YouTube. Peace, everybody. Have a good one.
We appreciate you making it to the end of the video. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.